Let's repair this sewing machine here. The person who gave this to me said that it worked as normal and suddenly it just revved up and went full speed. So something is very wrong with this, and it sounds like the foot pedal has been shorted somehow. It's in a metal box. The way you should open this is by pulling this down. It falls open like that. And you can lift it up like this. And in here we've got a Elna sewing machine. And the foot pedal is on the back. The power wire, of course. Let's lift it out from the case here. Pretty nice bulletproof case. So here's the sewing machine itself. It doesn't got any needle because that's maybe broken when it revved up like that. Inside here we can see the power connector. Should be made in Switzerland, and it's approved by Denmark, Norway and the Swedish standards and the German standards here. There's some other standards here that I don't really know. Double insulated with a power switch here. I'm going to plug it to the variac, just in case something goes very bad. Plugging in variac and plugging in sewing machine to the variac. And yes, the cable is a little bit damaged here. Yes, as you can see, I'm not even touching this, and it's running. Something is broken inside of here. So let's take this foot pedal apart and see what the problem is. You can see some of the information on the back. So let's remove these 4 screws here. Often they are just like some kind of a variable resistor inside of these with some capacitors. Maybe one of those capacitors inside of this is damaged. So let's see what's inside of it. Oh, here we go. Yes, there's the variable resistor. I don't see any capacitors in this, but there is a diode here. But this was a bit special. This doesn't look so great. It looks like it has been burnt here. And I don't really know how this revved up like that. If it's just blown off, it should be open circuit and nothing should happen. If it hasn't shorted out to this metal casing here. And if this part here had been actually shorting out to this. So let's begin by removing this resistor here. I think there's nothing connected to it. There's just these metal pins here. It's held together by 2 screws. Need to remove them. It says here's the resistor. Looks like something have been shorting out in the sewing machine and burned this. And the diode here is connected to one of the pins here. It goes actually to the first one. So let's measure the diode. Cathode is here. 0.58. That looks like a good diode. Yes, diode is okay. I need to clean up these contacts a bit. There's a bit of corrosion on those. If I have a closer look at this resistor, this is quite strange. It looks like somebody has tried to repair it. They have twisted this wire around here a couple of times. Looks to have been a little bit of bad connection here. It got hot like this. The same on the other side here. See, this goes from here and twists around this one. And if you measure it, it seems to be okay. Maybe this little piece of wire here had been shorting out to something. So I'm going to put this back together, cut off this little wire here and see if it does anything better. I removed a little bit of wire from it and twisted them together up here instead. You can't solder this nichrome wire. It's easier to twist it around a little bit better, making better connection. Trying to brush some of this dirt away and putting the resistor back in place. And putting the lid back on again. And screwing it back together. Let's try it again and see what happens. Cranking up. No. Still the same problem. So there is no problem with this foot pedal. So yes, let's measure the resistance of this. Maybe the problem is inside of the sewing machine itself. So let's plug in the multimeter. Should be in the middle here. And this one. Maybe. The foot pedal is working. The problem is inside of the sewing machine. Let's begin by opening this part here. The lid just came off. That didn't help so much. How does it look on the bottom? Maybe I need to remove the plate here. Let's remove the screws. Some flathead screws here. Yes, here we go. Well, that didn't help so much. So yes, the problem is here, I think. We shine some light here. You can see that little thing there. That's a filtering capacitor. I think that is shorted out. The problem is, how should I reach it? Let's open this little junction box. Maybe we can bypass the wires in here. Yes, here we got some resistor here. And what looks like some wires going to the capacitor. So let's disconnect those wires and see if it works better. So yes, these were the capacitor wires. So let's test it now and see what it does. Hopefully I'm not shorting out anything, so let's crank up the voltage. So yes, nothing happens. Let's push this. Maybe a little bit more. Now I need to isolate those wires and put this back together. The light bulb is even working. Nice. Now put some tape around this capacitor wire here. Just going to screw everything back together. Now that's in. Let's plug it in again. Works good as new. It doesn't matter if it gives out some interference on the power lines. The power companies should like that. So let's connect it directly to the mains. It runs quite smoothly. Hope you found this repair video interesting. Thanks for watching.